Hey everybody, this is Ed. I'm gonna do a LeetCode problem. Okay, it's called set matrix zeros. Given an m by n matrix, if an element is 0, set its entire row and column to 0. Do it in place. Okay, in this example, 0 is in the center, so we set everything in row 1 to 0 and everything in column 1 to 0. In this example, we're doing the setting column 0 and 3 to 0 and row 1 to 0. So we want to they want us to try to devise a constant space solution. All right. So the thing is, so we can't use any extra space, and we need some way to track what elements were originally 0 in our matrix. How do we do this? Well, how about one way we could do it is let's see, do it in place. Okay, we can't use any extra space. Well, we can basically just set the rows and columns to another number like 2, right? If it's 2, that means it's not an original 0. So we don't want to set the zeros in the row and column of the 2's, just the original zeros. Well, let's try that. Okay, so I'm working in Java now. Java, in my opinion, is a lot more friendly than C++ because it has automatic garbage collection. You don't have to delete pointers or whatnot. I think once it leaves the scope, it's automatically deleted. So that's nice. Of course, there's a trade-off between like convenience and efficiency, because you get more control over the memory allocation in C++. But yeah, for my case, this will do fine. Okay, so these nested for loops are going to traverse each element in the matrix, 2D matrix. We are going to check if the element at this point is 0, then we are going to set the entire row and column to 0. So let's set the row to 0 first. Set row to zeros. So we want to iterate over the columns for row I. Matrix. Let's just do okay. we are going to access row I, column C, and set it equal to 2. That will set everything to 2s. Now we set the columns to 0s. I'm going to do the same thing here, except we are going to go from top to bottom, so we want to iterate over the rows now while keeping the column constant. So that would be J. Okay, so this is going to oh, so you know what? There's a problem with this. It's going to overwrite any zeros that we come across. So we need to check if it's 0 or not, right? So like we do not want to overwrite a 0 because we need to set that row or column to 0 later on. So we need to check if it's not 0. Does not equal 0, then we are going to do that. Similarly, if this is not equal to 0, then we're going to do that. Otherwise, we're going to leave it alone so we can set it at a later point. Yep. Okay. This seems too easy, and I'm a little suspicious. But for now, let's just pretend it works. Okay, so once we're done with this, we're going to set all the 2s to 0s. So now all the 0s should be 2s. There should be no more 0s left in the matrix once we're done with the nested for loop. We've set all the rows and columns with that the element with 0 belongs to 2s, right? So now we just need to, let's just copy this thing here. Okay. If matrix I, j equals 2, we're going to replace it with a 0. There we go. So this has constant space because we are just traversing the same matrix. And the memory is constant too. Actually, it depends on the size of the matrix, so it's like n, mn, I think. O-M-N, M-N-M. Okay. Let's see if it accepts our solution. What are we going to return? It wants us to return nothing. Cool. I don't know how it's going to check our answer if we return nothing, but okay. You do you, LeetCode. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Of course, we have silly mistakes. I should like do a push-up for every bug I make. Then I get super fit. Yay! We passed the first example. I wonder if they use these examples as test cases. Probably. I know like they always do one test case with an empty matrix, and it always gets me. But I'm pretty sure it'll work just fine. We just won't iterate over it. Alright, now let's try the more example 2. It's a little bigger. And bigger means badder. Right? Real big. It's real big. Yes. Come on, LeetCode. Let's go. Should I submit? Dare me to submit it after only just testing 2 3 examples. What other things can I make up here? Let's just like put zeros, more zeros. We want more zeros. Zeros everywhere. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Uh-oh. Let's see what happened here. Oh, so, all right. We did not account for that. So we replaced a 2 with a 0, but it wasn't the 2 that we replaced a 0 with, right? So that's wrong. Let's see. Maybe let's just replace it with what number can we use to mean that, like, the integer is was previously 0, but it can't be an integer that's going to be included in the matrix. How about max? But what if they include that in the matrix? Uh-oh. Some default value we can use. Let's just try integer.max. I bet some person wrote a test case for that too. But there has to be a number that they didn't put. And default to me. I forgot how to get the default value. Shame on me. Let's see. It's like integer.max value. Yeah. What is that integer? It's like super big. 2 billion. It's like the biggest number an integer could be. Okay, so default to me. Okay. Let's try this bugger. How dare you oppose me? I will quickly dispatch you. Uh-oh. It doesn't like this? Why? Integer.max value. It has to be capitalized. Man, you know what I mean. All right. Now let's test it. They included that too. Oh my god, some demented person included a test case for every possible number. Well, I bet you didn't include this one. I bet you didn't include that one. Aha. Got him. Of course, this is not ideal. So let me know in the comments how you solve this issue of choosing a number as a replacement for 0 that does not appear, that will not appear in the matrix. Okay, thanks for watching with me, and have fun programming. See you.